Hi, I'm Sam Wilson, the Sam Wilson Home Selling Team at eXp Realty with this November 6th market update. And this is going to reflect the market data through October 2021. So as you can see, I'm right on the Denver Metro Association of Realtors market overview statistics. Because as I've talked about in previous videos and blogs, I am only using facts. So there's a lot of information and speculation out there. And unfortunately, the news, the media is reporting things that may not necessarily be the accurate information and can even be a bit misleading. So here's what I want to focus on this month is what the trend is since April, because that's really critical to what affects buyers and sellers the most in today's market. So first, a couple of quick stats from October, and I only focus on this right here, residential, because it combines detached and attached single family homes. So what we can see is that versus prior month, inventory is down again. Inventory homes for sale are down about 15% and about 30% versus October of last year. What I want to point out is that less homes closed in October versus September and less homes closed versus last year. So the demand is down, is what that says. Now, pricing is one of the biggest topics, and we're going to move to a different chart. But when you look at this, pricing, call that flat, down 1% versus September. So October prices were down slightly, just 1%. Let's call it flat versus prior year. And that's an average price. But look, same thing with median. It was only up about 1%. So, if you look at that, call it flat or even versus September. Now, here's the problem. Here's what you see a lot in the news, what the media focuses on, even what some of my colleagues focus on, is the increase versus prior year. Look at that. Yeah, it's up versus prior year. Of course it is, because the trend has been set, and I'll show you that in the next slide or the next chart. But the point is, don't get hung up on this. We go on listing appointments right now where sellers say, oh, well, prices are up 10%, so I want to price my home 10% over the guy across the street who just sold for 500,000. I want to put it at 550 because prices are up 10%. Well, folks, no. If that comp was a year ago, yeah, I see that. But if it was last month, no, you might even want to price down 1% or at the most, even with that house across the street, assuming it's the same house, similar house, similar upgrades and updates. So if you want to know what's going on in your neighborhood, by the way, just reach out, give me a call, shoot me an email, text. I'm happy to show you what's actually selling in your neighborhood. And I can go inside those houses for you and show you what they looked like before they closed. So let's go to a more important chart here. And I use this one because this is really the trend. And this is what we want to focus on. So this is residential closed pricing. And this is your trend. If I can get this small enough. Okay, here's what I want to focus on. Here's April of 21 and here's October of 21. And we're going to look at what's happened April to October, because the last significant price increase was March to April. So from March to April, yeah, there was a pretty big price increase from 587 to 620, and the median went from 500 to 525. So except for a small blip here in June, look what's actually happened. So April through October, prices are actually down a little bit. So we were at 620 average, 525 median. The median is up slightly, but let's look at the average price, which is more widely reported. it's 612 versus 620, and even this is flat. So this is down slightly. The median is, just barely up. Get out of that. I don't know why it's doing that to me, but here we go. So you can tell this is unrehearsed, real time, but the current statistics. So look, if you're a seller, you've got to be realistic. Prices are not on the increase the way they were before. They're just not. It's quite simple and apparent that, prices were definitely increasing back here, but they're not right now. And the trend has been flat. So if you're a seller, be realistic. You can price at or even slightly above, slightly below what the house across the street sold for in September. But here's the other news. For buyers, there's more available for you to choose from, less demand, as I demonstrated in the previous slide. And there's not the kind of bidding wars and price increases. There's not the multiple offers we saw before, and certainly not the upward pressure on prices and bids. You should not have to waive inspections or appraisals, and that could change in next spring. But right now, I wanted to point out what's really happening and why this is good news. For sellers, look, we're at an all-time historic price level, high price level. So you're still going to get top dollar. You still have more equity than ever in history. And for buyers, you're just not going to have to run the price up as much in order to get the home you want. Interest rates are also increasing a little bit. That's not part of this report. I'm not a lender, but just Google it. There's plenty of data out there that says, interest rates are up from an all-time low of 5.675 to just over 3% now. And that's affecting this a little bit because it's going to affect affordability. So there's a lot more I could say, but I don't want to make too long of a video. We're already at almost 8 minutes. But I encourage you to reach out to me. It's always free. There's never any obligation. I have buyers ready to make cash offers if you don't want the hassles of showings and inspections and appraisals. Of course, that's going to be a little bit below the market value, but you'll still get more equity return than you ever have in history. But importantly, I bring both. I can also bring you full market offers from multiple buyers at the top dollar market value by listing and marketing your home very aggressively to all the buyers out there. So please reach out. It's always free. There's never any obligation. There's lots of helpful information on my website. Feel free to use it. Call me, text me, email me anytime. Would love to talk with you if you're thinking about selling or buying your next home. Thanks very much. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope you found it valuable. Please give me feedback too. But I'm Sam Wilson, the Sam Wilson Home Selling Team at eXp Realty, and I hope to talk with you soon.